sometimes your transmog's just not looking as nice as it could. The new toy alleviates that. Makes you look good pretty much every single time, and also it helps support the prize pool for these players, and also all the players that are going to be in the MDI, which is going to be coming up very shortly. We'll talk about that at the end of the day. But first, we got some business to do here in the final day of the AWC for this season before we make it to LAN. My name is Rich. I'm going to be your host. I'm joined by Zico, Supatees, and Venruki, and we are currently in the grand final for EU. Are we going to have a new winner of a series that we have seen so many times throughout the entirety of the season? At first, it seemed to be a matchup that went Method Black's way. Later in the season, it's just more and more Wildcard Gaming dominance. Method Black trying to change that.
Yep, no surprise here. Wildcard Gaming, small map. They know that they have the Mistweaver advantage, so to speak. They know that Chaz doesn't necessarily feel super confident on his Mistweaver to be bringing it out in this matchup. He's going to be instead playing that Resto Druid. And of course, we're going to see Swapsy on Waz and Waz on that DK and Rogue. And I really think what you were saying earlier, Van, is completely true. I think this was just a very pleasant surprise for them. I really believe, based on the fact as well that we have not seen the Moonkin and the Alley blind picked at all from Wildcard Gaming, that they are super scared of this comp from Method Black, and that was the matchup that Method Black wanted, and they kind of just figured out that, oh, well, we can win this comp as well, completely by accident, so to speak, in the blind pick. So it's nice to see the players themselves necessarily might not even know what they should play into what, because there are so many options now for both teams.
Exactly, and to take that a step further, everything that you said definitely goes to show that if we're just using deductive reasoning, obviously we haven't had a chance to talk to the players in the middle of their series or in between any of their series, so that deductive reasoning is going to check out. But the other thing is look, we're in a 3-1 situation in favor of Method Black when they just got completely bodied by Wildcard Gaming at the start of the day. So it does seem like they didn't have you take that win. You take that win and go to the grand final. It's just worth too many points to risk going against Change My Mind, even if it is a team that you have been able to win. I don't think that this is a matter of, oh, let's hide it for the grand finals. I don't think that's what was happening at all. And also look at what Change My Mind almost did to Method Black. You can't sleep on Change My Mind. They almost managed to take that series in the 5th game, but now Method Black, they figured out something, and this is also kind of the way that this matchup's gone. It's just been recently, Wildcard Gaming has been that one step ahead, but it's all of a sudden they figure out a new comp, and the matchup, the way that it goes back and forth, changes based around the comp that they figure out the week before.
Yeah, definitely for Method Black, this is a happy little accident that they happen to stumble across. I mean, in game number 1, we really didn't expect them to win. I thought the Windwalker Monk really would have the advantage, and I still do think that, but Method Black, with the way that they have been playing it on the Grand Arena and on Hook Point, there's a lot of close calls in these matchups, and I think for the Rogue and the Death Knight of Method Black, they have chances and opportunities in this match. If I had to call it just mathematically, I feel like it's a 70-30 matchup in favor of Wildcard Gaming, but Method Black could really make anything happen.
I don't know much about those numbers, but I do know that you just named the composition. It needed a name. It did not have a name. DK Rogue is now going to be called Happy Little Accident, Cleve. Can this happy little accident make some dreams come true? Method Black trying to close out the grand final on Dollar and Sewers.
Perhaps they can do it. Earlier today, Wildcard Gaming just smashed Method Black in the upper final, but now Method Black, with the happy little accidents cleave, has managed to climb back in this series and move to match point. Yes, we are.
All right, we'll have to see what Method Black can get done with this composition. We kind of talked about Looney theoretically has the mana advantage when it comes down to Mistweaver and Restoration Druid from Chaz. Already, Blizzo taking a little bit of pressure early on. Looney activating the Way of the Crane to put a lot more damage out onto Swapsy, and I think if Wildcard Gaming learned anything about this matchup on Hook Point, it's that they should probably be putting more attention, more pressure onto Swapsy as opposed to Waz.
Oh, beautiful portal from Looney, escaping to safety right as Waz shadow stepped. Definitely tell Looney is experienced and probably the best Mistweaver monk going to the spring finals, even between North America and Europe. Blizzo trying to counterattack, but this is Vendetta, and Method Black seem unafraid to go all out on Looney. It may just be a race to kill him here. They're already up so many points in the series. They can afford to take these types of risks. Chaz with an immediate wild charge on that death grip. Sick reaction time, avoiding getting gripped into a stun. Beautifully timed. Waz is using that death from above to reconnect to Looney. An interesting talent choice from Waz, and I do expect them to continue to tunnel down Looney, although they are splitting some pressure on Blizzo, and having damage on 2 targets is quite devastating. This is match point for Wildcard Gaming, and they're falling behind.
That Cloak of Shadows gets used by Waz. He doesn't have evasion. He could be in some trouble. Might have to trade out his Vanish. That would be disastrous. He'd have no defensive cooldowns left to really rotate through. Looking at mana, Chaz just a little bit behind at this point. Blizzo under pressure though.
Waz.
Good damage on the Waz. What is he gonna do? He has Feint, he has Vanish, just trying to tank through some of that damage with the reduction of Feint. Should be enough as he makes his way back on top of Looney. Looney rolls away with Cheat Torpedo. Now Waz is left all alone. Shadow Step, Kidney Shot onto Blizzo, trying to create some pressure.
Blizzo dips low. They still have Life Cocoon though. Waz, he's in trouble. Wildcard Gaming are starting to come back in this fight. Immediate recovery, huge heal from Chaz. Chaz needs to drink. He is starting to sneak away. Blizzo is in trouble. Is he going to be able to survive full blind? Looney is comfortable to sit through that. This does not look too comfortable. Waz tried to death from above on Blizzo's Transcendence portal, but wasn't able to find that. Now instead, double stunned. Blizzo is on the run, but he's far away from Looney. They're separated across the entire battlefield. This could easily be it. Looney is still crowd controlled, desperately trying to connect the heal. Life Cocoon right in the nick of time. Swapsy now being pressured.
Yeah, Blizzo could be in a lot of trouble. Swapsy in the meantime getting low. Anti-Magic Shell. Iron Bark gets traded out by Method Black. This is match point for Method Black. If they win this tournament, Wildcard Gaming going to be holding on, looking to continue this fight. Now full Kidney Shot secured by Waz on the Looney with Vendetta. He gets low. Is he going to have any backup? Unfortunately, no. Swapsy does grip him back. Waz trying to reconnect right now. Do they have the damage? Looney really doesn't have too many cooldowns. A beautiful Transcendence getting out of line of sight. Pops himself off. And now Method Black have to turn their attention elsewhere.
All right, Chaz, what's your mana situation? Because it's not that good. Blizzo down at half, although with Touch of Death rolling, is trying to build momentum for the team. They're going after Swapsy, who has decided to run Lichborn, and that seems to be the talent of choice for Death Knights when facing Windwalker Death Knight. It rotates efficiently with Iron Bark and Life Cocoon on the healers of Restoration Druid and Mistweaver, but now that its defense is faded, there's an 8-second window of time for Wildcard Gaming to slip through and potentially take a win. Way the Crane gets activated at a huge cost of mana, but potentially enough damage to find a kill. And he's desperately trying to create momentum for the team. Chaz has Innervate active. He gets a ton of free healing, now stunned on it. Good stun timing by Z-Pi. Swapsy goes down to half, but with enough Runic Power banked up, has more than enough to Death Strike. Looney trying to retreat away. Method Black continue their advance on both Looney and Blizzo simultaneously, and I mean, eventually Looney's going to make a mistake. How can he keep up perfect play throughout? Ursul's Vortex trying to catch Looney on his Transcendence. Not going to find it. Life Cocoon stabilizes, but now no longer available for Blizzo. In the meantime, Wildcard Gaming set up triple crowd control with pressure on both Swapsy and Waz. Both teams mixing it up and trying to make difficult decisions for the enemy healers to make with pressure in multiple places. Something's got to give.
Oh, blind on Looney. Blizzo, what are you going to do? He ports away. Beautiful Transcendence location. Looney trying to connect some heals the best he can, in a great position to do so. Garrote Silence onto Blizzo, Bash onto Looney. Method Black looking to close out the series. Blizzo trinkets out. He's still trying to kite, trying to get away, trying to survive. Getting pressure now onto Chaz. Chaz gets caught into the sun. He trinkets out. Bark's getting used. If Z-Pi and Blizzo can stay on top of Chaz, he's going to be in so much trouble. Beautiful Leap manages to escape just a little bit longer. Shadow Meld on one of the Gladiators Maledict, but now gets Death Grip back into the fight. Touch of Karma gets traded out by Blizzo onto the Kidney Shot, and beautifully done by Wildcard Gaming, reversing the pressure onto Chaz, and I don't think Chaz is going to be able to get out of this alive.
Ooh, wild charge back up to the upper platform. Ursul's Vortex buys a couple of seconds. He's totally tapped on mana. Blizzo, though, with no defense, could be vulnerable. Looney overextends, almost gets cycloned. Chaz tries to sit down for a drink while Looney is stunned, then moves into cyclone out of the stun instead. Blizzo dips low, Looney denies it. Both the healers completely out of mana as dampening has begun. Looney is interrupted, but Waz is now low on health. He's got Vendetta rolling, Touch of Death, both sides in trouble. Chaz caught in a stun lock, could easily just explode here in game number 5, and Chaz goes down. Wildcard Gaming stay alive in the tournament.
And they're going to keep on trucking, and the big thing that we mentioned a little bit earlier was that we don't think that this is going to be one where that comp advantage is going to matter nearly as much because of the caliber that these teams truly are. Do we think that Wildcard Gaming can string this back together?
It all comes down to the next game. Right now, Method Black, they have them in checkmate. What are they gonna pick? I think I think we're going to see a large map from Method Black, something like maybe Tiger's Peak selected, and then potentially I think we're going to see the return of Super Mario. I think he's going to come back on that Moonkin, and we're going to see the Moonkin, Mistweaver, Ellie Shaman play out against the DK Rogue Rusted Druid, and I think Method Black are going to be favored, but I think that's the best way to go with this if you're Wildcard Gaming.
Yeah, this next one is going to be pretty interesting. I'm pretty blown away that they've been able to start turning it around like this, because it seemed like all of the air was taken out of their tires at a certain point. And also we saw Method Black kind of finding themselves in a position where they had to just climb back in a series. They're about as warmed up as you can be. Then they find a gifted composition. They really did not think, at least to our knowledge. We'll get to talk to them a little bit after this tournament. We'll get to bring it to you guys on stream or on LAN. I feel like there really was truly that moment of, wait, this works. This is something that we can do. How often they're going to use in the remainder of the series remains unsure.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to definitely see. We saw them try to set up on their last blind pick, the Windwalker Frostmage Restoration Druid against that Windwalker Death Knight that Wildcard Gaming has been running, but that did not seem like a favorable matchup for Wildcard Gaming whatsoever, so I think it's unlikely that they lock it in blind, unless Method Black decides to go for a small map, and then it's not that bad, but I don't know. I think what we're going to likely see is what Zico said, them try to lock in the Moonkin Elemental Shaman once again. Obviously, they're a little bit scared of the Assassination Rogue Unholy Death Knight of Method Black, but maybe with the Mistweaver Monk, that's the added tool they need in order to survive.
How do you feel about seeing the Moonkin as our resident Moonkin?
I think it's their only choice right now, at least for a blind lock. I think if they go with anything else, they'll be countered out. That Windwalker Mage is, I would say, much more one-sided than the matchup that we haven't seen yet, which would be the Ellie Moonkin into the Rogue Death Knight. I would much rather see that than what we have already seen as a result for Windwalker Death Knight. I think that's their best move.
Okay, we're going to have to see. The map going to be locked in about 40 seconds. Map pool, when we're in a best of 7, going to be a little bit different. We've already taken a lot of those maps that we have already mentioned. Mugumbala, what are the chances?
If Wildcard Gaming wins next game, Mugambala Game 7, the prophecy.
Yeah, we might actually see.
Final Cup.
It's always the prophecy.
It's the prophecy.
It is the prophecy, the Mugambala prophecy, the long boy prophecy.
Willing to bet your
Oh,
mustache?
never mind.
Oh,
Never mind.
This other prophecy is good too, though.
Well, there's still Tiger's Peak after this, so it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe Game 7 NA, the prophecy.
This could be
We're on match
fitting
point.
final
Yeah,
resting place.
exactly.
This might be a
Rental
fitting
Orderon's a
final.
cemetery.
It is
Would be a
a
fitting final resting place, and it's match point. Exactly, Vinruki. Exactly.
All right, well, Method Black are going to win.
I heard
There we go.
I heard if you say that joke too much, you go bald. So be careful with that one. I've heard a lot of men have tampered with
also
the
lose
power
your
of
mustache.
the Lord.
You also lose your mustache.
Ben actually had me check his hairline the other day. He was like, Zico, be honest with me. Give it to me straight. Am I balding right now?
I don't know.
That's
He
you
didn't
should
take
not
my
bring
word
that
for
up
it.
on the
I
broadcast.
literally have a video on my phone recording his head from the back. So
There are a lot of really good WoW players who
Oh.
are bald. There are a lot of really good WoW players who are bald. Also, a lot of really good.
Bald is beautiful.
There are a lot of good commentators who are bald as well. A lot of good commentators who are bald.
Okay.
Super Tease, Sloot,
Hell.
VHL. Who else? There are a
Let's list
lot.
all the bald commentators across
There
the
are a lot.
sports.
I'm pretty sure.
Caldor?
I'm pretty sure Jack said he was going to shave his head for MDI. You might have 2 bald casters.
I saw Sloot's picture of the MDI talent. They were all bald in that picture.
Yeah, that Photoshop is honestly one of the best things that's ever happened to World of Warcraft esports. Every single just deleting everybody's hair on the MDI desk always does crack me up. And guys, that's going to be coming up after the AWC, not today, but in the coming weeks. We'll make sure that you have all that information at the end of the day after we get through EU and North America. Wildcard Gaming right now needs to lock in their composition. Method Black going to have full information as they try to close the door on Wildcard Gaming, and there it is. Morrow is going to be back with Zeepai and Looney, just like Zico did expect. Now, Method Black, it's their chance to return. They set up for this as well.
if we see the DK Rogue now, then we know.
Yeah.
The Bob Ross cleave, the prophecy is true.
All right. Happy
what
little
cleave?
accident.
The Bob Ross cleave.
Oh, is that a quote from Bob Ross?
Happy little accident? Yeah.
Oh, I understand now.
It makes sense that you want it. You two are like actually the opposite as far as hair is concerned, right? Yeah. So, but
You have to have hair to understand a Bob Ross.
happy little accidents. It's one of the most beautiful things in life, and we see it employed here as well. Sometimes when you're painting a painting, you accidentally hit the canvas with your brush. It's a tree. It's a tree. Sometimes you accidentally lock in Death Knight Rogue. It's a win.
It's a win.
It's a win. And it's your first win against this team in like 3 weeks as well in the final cup. That's a happy little accident if I've ever seen one, and I definitely experienced my share in my life.
We need to get a replay with like a painting so Zico can do the replay and paint it out.
We're working on it. Don't worry, Sid. We're working on it. Don't worry. Zico's going to have a painting segment. Back in the day, he used to actually have the painting segment.
Hey, I still have it. He's right here.
Oh, okay. Maybe we're gonna have one for real. If the happy little accident Cleve does manage to pull this off, maybe we'll get to see Zico show off his artistry. Now, just 30 seconds left until we get to see what Method Black locks in, and I think right now we're assuming it is going to be that Death Knight Rogue.
Maybe. For Method Black, they could actually lock in Rogue Mage Druid as well, and that would make Looney very susceptible on that Mistweaver Monk to crowd control and give them more of an edge. I mean, on Tolvaron Arena, we already saw Method Black beat out Wildcard Gaming with a stall strategy, waiting for dampening, and then they eventually took down Zeepai with an all-in. And I think on this map, waiting for dampening isn't necessarily as easy to do as on Tolvaron, but Looney being on the Mistweaver Monk, like I said, he's a lot more easy to control. This is surprising.
Okay. Why do you think we're seeing this here? I'm looking at you, Zico.
Well, Warlocks are really good at shutting down other casters, have a lot of burst, and this is something we did see Method Black bring in. The nerf to Warlocks was on their armor, so it was essentially a nerf that made Warlocks take more damage from physical sources. Now, Morrow doesn't have much physical damage to his class, of course, and Zeepai as well, so the only damage that they would potentially be reducing is from Looney, which isn't that significant in the grand scheme of things, so that nerf really isn't going to be doing too much in this specific matchup. I think it's an interesting. Answer from Method Black. It's definitely something that Wildcard Gaming didn't expect, and it's something that we didn't expect either. The Roguelike Druid, when they played it, it looked okay. It was originally their answer for the Mistweaver Windwalker DK. They won one game, and then they got pretty much dumpstered the rest of both of those series. So. It's surprising to see them go back to it, but in this matchup could definitely be a tool for them.
When you look at the casters that they are going to be playing against Imaro and Zeepai on that Boomkin and that Shaman, it definitely, you're not really going to see any impact from the change that was made. You kind of have to think of Warlocks as being, they were plate wearers, now they're mail wearers, essentially. But that bursty damage that is coming in from Looney, do you think that is the scariest thing for Swapsy? Is Way of the Crane going to be an opportunity to take him down?
It's not going to be that significant, I don't think. I mean, obviously, the Way of the Crane in general just adds a nice extra punch, but I don't think that that they can abuse Way of the Crane now because of that armor change. I don't think it's significant enough, really. I mean, it's a 1 minute cooldown, very expensive. You can only use it a couple of times, and it's going to make you hit for a little bit less than you did before, but it's still going to hit around the same. So
the reason I wanted to bring it up is because we haven't really seen many Warlocks, and I think Infernion was really one of the main Warlocks that we saw in this tournament. He didn't have the best games, and you instantly see in chat after somebody just got a class change, it's just like, oh, this class isn't great anymore. Oh, this class is too good. We don't have enough data on Warlocks. They definitely still do have places where they shine. This looks like a matchup where they still may be able to. We'll have to see what Swapsy can get done. They have a cushion too. They may just end up going to Game 7 if the composition doesn't work. Then from there, maybe they can pull off another composition, even if it is a little bit tricky. But when I see Swapsy on the Warlock, for some reason, it makes me think about our teams over in North America. We were talking about them a little bit earlier, and Ben, you said that you wanted to talk about this more. I want to hear more about it. When we look at North America in the next few games, You know, we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
later.
we don't have time for that
I was
right
like,
now.
I'm ready to go. As we can see right now, we're going to be jumping into this one. We're going to focus on Europe before we do take that small hop over the pond and focus on our North American teams. Guys, this could be the last one in the series. This could be the last EU game that we have before these players make it up to LAN. A lot of you have been asking what LAN is. It stands for Local Area Connection. Some refer to it as LAN. Do not get confused. But Method Black looking to close.
Network,
Wait, network.
not connection.
The real connection that I have with everybody on this desk is absolutely insane. 6 weeks of us getting to hang out together and 6 weeks of getting to watch these players perform at the highest level that World of Warcraft has to offer. It's all led up to this moment with two teams that have been dominant forces in EU. And Method Black and Wildcard Gaming. Method Black trying to prove that they can still be that #1 team, though. They don't want to be second best. They want to prove that they are the best team that the EU will be sending to the biggest tournament of this season.
Waz initiates the attack with a cheap shot. Sounds on Zeepai, but Zeepai immediately repositions on the opposite side of the tombstone, counter-aggressing with that lightning lasso. Soaked up by the spell lock of Swapsy. And the one thing with the composition that Wildcard Gaming are playing is they actually don't have a lot of consistent interrupts. When you're facing a Destruction Warlock, Chaos Bolt's very important to stop. How do you stop that? Consistent interrupts. This composition doesn't have that, so Swapsy will be raining down tons of damage in this, which is why it makes sense for him to be attempting the Destruction Warlock. So let's see how Wildcard Gaming decide to play around that threat.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. Swapsy is going to be a huge threat on that Destruction Warlock. A lot of damage available, but Zeepai's been doing a really good job in these matchups so far, making sure he's shutting down all the casters. It's going to be up to him to land really good grounding totems and wind shears, but that can be so difficult when you're caught into a kidney shot. And we see Zeepai, he's playing really defensive right now, having to run away. Waz looking to reconnect. Nice lightning lasso from Zeepai, unfortunately wasn't full. Waz manages to land a Shadow Step after a thunderstorm. Now full kitty shot onto Zeepai. Looney with no trinket. Opts to use his life cocoon, and right now Method Black appears to be in the driver's seat. This composition is working out great for them.
Ooh, beautiful Cyclone on the defensive cooldowns of Zeepai. Looney needs to get ready to heal him back up right after that. Trying to fake cast a spell lock. Looney fake cast a spell lock of Swapsy. Now the threat has been thwarted off of nice play on Looney's part. However, there's really no defense left for Zeepai, so the next kidney shot could be devastating. Love to see Method Black just push forward, secure crowd control onto both members, Zeepai and Looney, and end this. They can easily do so. Maro's really the only one who stands in their way. They need to make sure they interrupt Cyclones when they make this push. Looney and Zeepai know that this next attack is going to be huge. Trying to prepare for it. Chaz jumps in, looks for a Cyclone on Maro, trying to deny him from stalling this out. Maybe a swap onto Looney actually initiated. Immediate Shadow Step, but Zeepai shuts it down immediately, although overlapped a tad bit with that Cyclone. Would have maybe have not liked to have seen the Cyclone in that position. Could have been an opportunity to actually kill Waz. So they stay alive, but unfortunately they could have actually counterattacked it at the same time and lose an opportunity.
Yep, Swapsy still actually used 3 Chaos Bolts there on Maro. Unfortunately not able to find too much damage. Looney with the way of the crane is going to be able to heal up his entire team. Waz actually in a little bit of trouble. He has Feint rolling, Cloak of Shadows, and Evasion available. Is he going to have to use them? It looks like Line of Sight should be enough for now, and Chaz has enough time to actually top him off. Now Lightning Lasso onto Swapsy. Good control coming in from Wildcard Gaming. Cyclone onto Waz. Swapsy kind of left all alone in this position. He's actually getting bursted down. And if we look at mana, things are not looking good here for Method Black. Chaz already around 50% mana. Looney almost completely full. And I don't know. I'm starting to doubt this composition Method Black has selected.
All right, Maro stunned up. It looks like Method Black are switching up their targeting, trying to catch Wildcard Gaming off guard, but that is a very difficult thing to do when facing a healer of the caliber that Looney is. Double Mortal Coil into blind. Good setup. Looney denies it. Solar Beam from Maro breaks up some of the damage as well. Vendetta coming off cooldown. Infernals are going to be available, and Looney has no Gladiator's Medallion. I want to see Method Black make another swap to Looney, try and get some crowd control on the Zeepai and Maro to stop them from stalling their assault. He is likely to be the easiest target at this moment in time to kill. See how Looney handles the pressure. Maro actually the target here for now, as they're trying to stall out this Incarnation. I do believe it's an Arcanic Pulsar, so not going to be lasting too long. Completely denied by the kidney shot. Looney rolls in, but he rolls next to Waz. Curious to see if Waz wants to make a... I'm really surprised to not see them switch over to Looney.
Just in case some people haven't actually played Moonkin yet, could you hit them with the flex of knowledge right now and let them know exactly how Arcanic Pulsar does operate?
Yeah, after you cast, I believe it is 9 Star Surges, you get Incarnation for a small amount of time. You can throw your opponents off guard or potentially force cooldowns in that window. And then when your main Incarnation becomes available, you can then look for a kill or vice versa. You can also use it to extend the duration of your main Incarnation by an extra few seconds, and that is the main game plan for Morrow so far. I would like to see more setups. I feel like Waz should be the target for Wildcard Gaming, but they seem happy just focusing down Swapsy. See both Chaz and Swapsy crowd control during Ironbark's defense. Good stall by Wildcard Gaming. Mana now in favor of Method Black. It's not looking too good for Wildcard Gaming as they are on match point. If they lose this or the next game, they will be going home in second. And that's very important as these teams are so evenly matched and have basically the same amount of points or close to it, which means if it comes down to it at the end of the year to qualify for the World Finals and it's based off points between these two teams, this series alone could decide that lead. So there's a lot on the line moving into the future in this series between these teams.
Yep, Morrow now into a kitty shot. We are entering dampening. How much mana does Chaz have? He's been managing to hold on to it quite nicely. Hex secured onto Swapsy. He's got a lot of offensive capability right now, rolling with that Dark Soul. Keep in mind his positioning. Is he going to be able to get any casts off? Looking for some Incinerates. Now a big Chaos Bolt. Morrow shuts it down quite easily with that Solar Beam. Now it's Swapsy who's on the back foot just a little bit. Zeepai and Morrow have just been able to put out so much pressure all day on this Moonkin Elemental Shaman composition, but Chaz heals up Swapsy. Method Black looking healthy, and now it's Morrow on the back foot.
All right, Morrow, huge burst. Looney denies the kill. Dampening has set in here on match point for Method Black, and they have been developing momentum throughout the fight, and it's looking better and better for them. Wildcard Gaming need a trump card if they want to pull this off and move to a game 7. Morrow gets bursted. In trouble. Swapsy gets bursted, equally so. Lightning Lasso gets denied by Waz. Good teamwork. Perfect denial. Morrow feared away. Buying Chaz time to breathe and stabilize, but even still having a rough time.
This is not looking too good for Method Black. Swapsy had to trade out a lot of his defensive cooldowns there in that exchange, and Morrow in the next minute and 40 seconds, he's going to have that Incarnation rolling once again, and Swapsy doesn't really have a good answer. Chaz is going to have to make sure he holds on to a lot of mana, as well as Ironbark if he wants to survive that assault. Now at 11% dampening. Waz has a lot of offensive capability coming up soon with that Vendetta. Now full kidney shot secured on his Zeepai. Looney shuts it down immediately with the Life Cocoon. Slowly but surely, both teams running through their defensive cooldowns. Things could become scary. I feel like Swapsy right now is probably the best target for Wildcard Gaming to go after. Waz has a lot of cooldown still with the Cloak of Shadows, with the Vanish to keep himself alive. You can see Looney just chasing down Chaz. He doesn't want to let him drink. He knows if they can just extend the game, both healers don't drink. Theoretically, the Mistweaver should have the advantage, but Chaz has been doing a really good job.
This could be the last time that we see these teams go head-to-head. You do not want to go anywhere as Method Black are on match point and looking to assert dominance in the European region. Infernals have landed. Swapsy is ramping. Zeepai knocks them away to buy a couple of seconds to try and recover, but even one Chaos Bolt at 16% dampening could close this fight. Looney gets crowd controlled on the way of the Crane. They don't have any follow-up. Waz gets cycloned at low health. Zeepai makes a fair exchange of the Astral Shift for the Infernals, but now Vendetta available. Waz could be on point here to close this game out single-handedly. Spelllock instantly on the Lightning Lasso. That threat is now out of the way, and it is go time for Method Black here shortly.
It is go time. Kidney shot on the Zeepai. No Astral Shift available, but Looney still has so many defensives he can rotate through. Waz getting bursted down. Could be in some trouble. Chaz has to play catch-up at this point in the game. Feint trades out to try to keep Waz alive. Chaz in a full Cyclone. Good control coming in from Morrow. Swapsy looking for a Spell Reflect, looking for some fears. Interrupts Morrow's Cyclone. Zeepai caught into a fear. Waz all over him. Is he going to be able to take him down? He has a Vendetta, but Swapsy gets caught in the crossfire. Huge damage by Morrow and Zeepai, and Wildcard Gaming tie this series up.
We're going to a game 7. Method Black are in such a great place within this series. Such a fantastic place within this series. It looked like no matter what happened, they were finally going to be able to take down Wildcard Gaming. But it's looking like the deck may be stacked a different way, and the hand that is being dealt to them looks like it might not be one that they can recover from.
Yeah, it looks like they still have an ace up their sleeve. Wildcard Gaming managing to take down Swapsy at the end of that one. And I gotta say, was the Warlock the right call here for Method Black? We thought that the DK Rogue was potentially the matchup that they wanted to get against the Elemental Shaman and Moonkin. They don't pick the matchup. Instead, they go for Swapsy on that Destro Warlock. And of course, it didn't work out for them. Maro and Zepai having excellent control. Looney as well throughout the fight, having a really good amount of mana. And despite the Warlock being so effective at shutting down other casters, I gotta say, the LA Shaman, he definitely fills in a similar role. And I gotta say, I think it's just a matter of time before we're going to start seeing Destro Warlock, Ellie Shaman as a composition in general. I think that's going to be a comp that's just going to be creeping up on us as well, just as a side note there. But yeah, Swapsy getting destroyed there by the Incarnation, by the Earth Shock, of course, as well. And I think Wildcard Gaming are going to be locking this in the next map as well. And I think next map, if I was Method Black, I would lock in Tiger's Peak, then I would lock in DK Rogue, and I would try to win that way.
I wonder if any NA players are watching right now and are going to play Destro Shaman in the next coming tournament. It does seem really good. It actually does seem like it definitely would have a place. I don't think that place is probably in the series with where we're at right now in this final game, but very good point that you do bring up there. Guys, you remember, Zico's called a lot of great comps before they actually did come up to be comps that define the meta. Arcane Mage was one of the big ones that you were calling for a really long time. It ended up being one of the big determining factors of that entire season. Super Tease has had his fair share of calling out comps as well, if we count this one with the DK and that Rogue.
Affliction locks will rise.
Eventually. One day. And it's definitely not today. Destro Locks going to be that king for now, but as this final map gets locked in, Venriki, it's your turn to call compositions. Which ones do you think we're going to see from Wildcard Gaming and Method Black?
I don't know. I think it depends on the map. These guys have just been doing random things. I don't think anyone would have called the Roguelock Druid the Assassination Unholy Death Knight. You're putting a lot of pressure on me right now.
No one? Okay, then.
You didn't expect it for that matchup, let's be honest.
When he saw it, his initial reaction was like, why would you play that? And then yesterday, he was begging for it.
I think the map is going to be
short-term memory loss, okay?
Yeah.
Something.
My hair and my memory as I get older.
I feel like what I want to see from Method Black is try to go to a small map again. I think there's still Blackrock Hold that they could go to. Go to Blackrock Hold, allow Wildcard Gaming to lock in the Moonkin Elemental Shaman with the Mistweaver Monk, and then just try the Assassination Rogue with the Unholy Death Knight. That's what I want to see. That's what they should have done on Ruins of Lordaeron. I at least want to see them play it out because, I mean, the Mistweaver Monk is going to be more of an advantage, of course, for the Wizard Cleave, the Moonkin Elemental Shaman, but I don't know if that advantage is enough to overcome what Method Black had originally planned. I don't know if Method Black knows that either. They just kind of threw something random in the woodwork, and unfortunately, that wasn't a happy little accident. That was just a giant mistake.
Sometimes it's a tree, sometimes it's defeat.
Okay, they're gonna go for Blackrock Hold, so...
Ooh, am I gonna guess it right?
I think Wildcard Gaming aren't gonna be locking in the Moonkin Alley. I think they're just gonna lock in the Mistweaver Windwalker DK because it's a small map. Never mind.
Oh, 2 parts of the prophecy coming through. Am I going to get number 3?
Here we go,
This
Ven.
prophecy is already wrong. It's not Mugambala, so...
No, that's for NA. We already
Ven's feeling the power right now. The predictions right now. He's like, oh, look at me. I can see the future.
I think we're going to get a tiebreaker between Never Lucky and Mew Mew Kitty Cats Game 5.
Now everybody's calling stuff that's not happening for hours. Yeah, it's like, yeah, sure, okay. Everybody's going to forget.
No one will remember. Yeah, exactly.
Pull the clip when you're right. Yeah, that was like when I predicted who was going to win BlizzCon last year.
Yeah, you were definitely right.
Yeah, called it the very first day of the season, and there we are. We're right. We were 100% right.
And that's why you still have your mustache, too.
You want me? What, are you challenging me right now?
No?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Who's your mustache on?
Production just told me you can't say that. Let's see, though. Method Black. Wait. Can I see what they lock in first?
Sure.
Right.
They might just,
That's fair.
They might just randomly play double Destro right now. Like, I don't know. They've been playing some weird stuff today. They've been playing some weird things. Blackrock Hold, gonna be an interesting map.
They're challenging them for the cleave.
Let's see, 30 seconds here. I will make a prediction. I will make a prediction.
What was Ven's prediction for comp for Method Black? DK Rogue?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
If you put your mustache on the line, I'll put my mustache on the line. Rich, how about that?
I still can't believe you shaved your mustache off during break. It actually like really caught me off guard. I was just looking over at Sid. I was like, oh, does he have less hair than normal? Method Black now trying to make that decision.
This is pretty crazy. I mean, these two teams have been titans in the European region for a really long time throughout all of these cups, basically, of the spring season. Moving into LAN, I mean, they're the number 1, number 2 seed. Method Black, they're actually going to be trying the Rogue Mage Druid, and that's something else I mentioned. I think against the Mistweaver Monk, it's a lot better of a matchup. We saw when they played on Tolvaron Arena, they tried for a very stall-based tactic where they just waited till dampening and all in, but I think against the Mistweaver Monk, they can actually make some offensive pushes and try to win in crowd control.
Yeah, I think this wins, right? Like.
What? Well, you got to decide before we hear from Zico.
Yeah.
Zico, really
mustache.
No. Do you think Method Black wins at this competition?
There's no pressure on any of us. We're just all pointing at you.
What do you think? What do you think? Wait, is this what it feels like? Is this what it feels like? I just sit here and I'm like, hey, dude, here's a hard question. Oh, you don't know the answer? I'll just ask someone else. Can I write it down on a piece of paper and then at the end of the series reveal it to the stream?
I like that. As long as I can see you've done that.
Okay. You have to give the piece of paper to one of us.
He's going to write it on 2 different pieces of paper.
You have to give it to us before.
Chat, can you open my tablet died. Open up chat. I want to see who chat has in this one. Please.
I'm giving it to actually write down your answer first.
Okay. We're done.
Let's see it.
Who do you have? Who do you have taking it?
Wildcard Gaming.
What about you?
I'm going with Wildcard Gaming.
I'm going with Method Black.
Who do you put your mustache on, Rich?
All right, we'll show it at the. Oh, you.
Okay.
You're doing us dirty right now with that. That's not allowed.
You put Wildcard Black. That's not the acceptable answer.
At least let me keep
you have to do half
this
of it.
Beautiful mustache. I'd rather take the safe play and just keep. I could lose this half, and then if I go like this on stream, I still look good. Yeah.
You just never turn your head.
Yeah, just never turn my head. If I turn my head, it could get weird. But just get rid of this part, and then when I ask you guys questions, it still look okay. I think this one's too tough to call.
Yeah, it's really close to call. The thing is,
How did we get to this point?
No, I'm changing my prediction. I'm going with Method Black.
I'm going with Method Black as well. I'm going with Method Black. I think Method Black.
Good thing I don't have a mustache.
Back on the Rogue Mage. Will they be able to take this one away? Wildcard Gaming has won this series so many times throughout the year, and now the question is, will Method Black be able to navigate their way out of a hairy situation? They had this one by the reins, and now it's on the razor's edge, all down to game number 7. Method Black versus Wildcard Gaming.
Either team just needs to shave off one more point to take the entire tournament. These teams have been so evenly matched throughout tournament play, and they've brought in basically every single archetype available in the game, and I could have never guessed that it would come down to Boomkin Elemental Mistweaver facing Rogue Mage Druid, having seen the way that the meta has played out. But with these teams being so evenly matched and bringing so much to the competition, this is what we get, and it's going to be a treat. Both teams a little bit reluctant to get things going.
Yeah, Waz sitting in stealth. He's going to be sharpening up his razor blades before he moves in and gets aggressive onto Wildcard Gaming. Who are they going to go after? We know Method Black, they're not afraid to just sit and wait till dampening, and that will be their advantage. I think it was around 50% dampening where eventually Chaz, Raikou, and Waz were able to take down Zipai, so that might be the number we see again.
The longer we wait, the longer Rich's mustache grows and the more devastating it's going to be when it has to be ultimately shaved off. Looney gets attacked early on from Method Black, trying to catch him off guard.
Get him!
Looney is not a healer that you are likely to catch off guard, but Waz is going for it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Raikou is nowhere to be found, and I just think it's so unlikely that Waz can take down Looney Now finally in a good position, getting shut down. Morrow and Zeepa have just been owning Raikou so far. A lot of control. Finally a full KD shot. What is Raikou going to be able to get done? Looking for an Ebon Bolt. Gets it off. Big damage on the Looney. But off heals coming in from Zeepa. Looney might have to portal away if he doesn't have the Transcendence for another 15 seconds. Life Cocoon buys him enough time to survive.
If Wildcard Gaming lose this, Rich's mustache is cursed. Anytime we bet against the stash, it always gets protected.
It always wins. They're going to change the dampening icon, so as we get deeper into dampening, a stash just grows out of that sword. Could you imagine? Like, get longer and longer.
All right, good damage now onto Raikou. Method Black wasn't able to stall as long as they really wanted to. And once again, this is just going to be one of those matchups where Wildcard Gaming, they're going to be looking to deny damage for as long as possible. Morrow and Zeepa, they have to do a good job with control in the matchup. Stop Raikou's crowd control, stop Raikou's damage. And if they can pull that off, they might be able to stall for quite a bit of time. You can see there's a full blind sap onto Morrow. And once again, Waz is going to be looking to deny as long as he possibly can, and it's looking good.
So much tension in this game that the game is beginning to shake here between Wildcard Gaming and Method Black. The last time we're going to see them battle it out to make it to the LAN later this year, where they will then face North America to decide who is the best internationally and who will take the first spot to the World Finals. These two teams are looking to be the teams to beat for North America moving forward, and just for the world in general. Zeepa, the target of choice here for Method Black as they continue switching it up.
Yeah, and let's see what they can get done. Method Black, we did see them go after Zeepa, like we kind of said. That was the all-in pressure point that they had available. Morrow is actually a great target for them to go on if they can shut him down, force him into bear form, and will really limit his ability to get out cyclones and damage. So potentially Method Black will turn their attention there, because I think it's really unlikely Zeepa ends up falling in this matchup till late dampening. So I think if they're going to be looking for a stall-based strategy, just go after Morrow. But no, they're just looking for crowd control, and this is what I'm talking about. Wildcard Gaming, they're much more susceptible to an all-in. Zeepa getting really low. Life Cocoon finally lands from Looney onto Zeepa, but it's overlapped with the Astral Shift. And this is looking good for Method Black.
Anytime Wildcard Gaming dips low health, Rich starts panicking. He's literally standing on his seat right now. He does not want to have to shave that precious mustache.
I want Wildcard Gaming to not come out on top now.
Yeah, that's what you were cheering.
And now in the kidney.
There's not much left, but I guess Looney's chilling. Couple soothing mists out there. Zeepa restabilizes. Icy Veins available for Raikou. Curious to see where he decides to place that. Chaz is doing a great job managing his mana, as Looney on the Mistweaver is likely to outdo him. Morrow in trouble. Waz equally so. That's the Gladiator's medallion. Not during Incarnation. Waz is vulnerable, almost as much as Richard's mustache now.
Yep, things could be a little bit scary here for Waz, but he still has the Cloak of Shadows and Vanish, and that's one thing Waz always does a great job of, is he doesn't overlap his defensives. He always has something left to survive. Such a high-level rogue in these tournaments. Now full kidney shot secured onto Zeepa. What is Raikou going to be able to do? Because like I said, I don't think Waz at this point in the game is going to be able to solo down Zeepa. They really need a good coordinated effort, but with the way Looney's positioning, he's so far away in the matchup, it's really difficult for Raikou, Chaz, and Waz to push in, get the control they need, because I feel like if they don't get that control, it's going to be really difficult for them to actually close out the game.
All right, let's see what they can get done. Dampening has entered the fray. Both teams equal on cooldowns and mana. As things continue underway, Looney portals away to avoid crowd control in that starting room, utilizing the map effectively, but they left Morrow behind. Waz trying to punish, go after him. Raikou can't support as he's hexed up. Chaz still needs to do a perfect job with his mana. We do see a Lightning Lasso Incarnation, but likely the Arcanic Pulsar. How much damage can they do? Looney and a Polymorph. This is a great time for Method Black to close this series out. Where's the damage? They have the crowd control. There's just absolutely zero damage.
Yep, Zeepa's going to be able to easily shake off that last attempt there by Method Black. Now Waz getting a little bit low mana in favor of Wildcard Gaming. Looney trinkets out of the blind. Now susceptible to a Polymorph. Full bash on the Waz. Can he get the Cloak of Shadows off? I believe he should be able to. Morrow. Oh, goodness gracious! Wildcard Gaming once again, unexpected burst damage. Morrow, Zeepa, and Looney are just on fire. This team has won the last 3 cups in a row.
Wildcard Gaming has just a wrecking ball, destroying the dreams of Method Black yet again.
You're not going to need this anymore.
Method Black, they can't do it. They in this series looked so fantastic, and it completely gets taken away from them all too soon.
Yeah, and what other better way to close out the European Cups than to have Wildcard Gaming, who had 2 cup wins before this, versus Method Black, who also had 2 cup wins before this, going head-to-head all the way to Game 7 with Waz on his Rogue in the mix. No trinket available, but his Cloak of Shadows available, and this setup here is nice. We can see Baro with that incarnation available. You can see Zipa is going to go for that lasso. He's going to have Waz on that stun lock, and then of course they're going to combo it with Maro's damage, and then the fire elemental that you see right there, that is the MVP. So we see a bash actually onto Waz, into the lasso, into the elemental stun to deny that Cloak of Shadows, and then Looney, he's going to go ahead and kick Waz out of the tournament and enrich his mustache of his face.
Yeah.
I might be the only bald one on the desk, but now I'm not going to be the only one without a mustache. Feels good, man.
It was looking really good for Method Black for a while inside of that series, but it's not going to be enough. And this was the best team. So many times, if we made predictions earlier on in this season, you think the Method Black would come out on top, especially on the composition that they've been so strong on for so long. But that has changed. Wildcard Gaming is by far the most dominant team that we've seen in Europe.
And honestly, I feel like they're the most dominant team we've seen in the whole world. I mean, we can talk about Europe and North America till we're blue in the face, which team's going to win. But to me, Wildcard Gaming right now, they just have the diversity. And like we kind of talked about, Looney on the Mistweaver Monk and Restoration Druid, he just seems a cut above any of the other healers' ability to multi-class at that high of a level. And I think that's definitely going to give them an edge as we move towards the spring finals.
An edge indeed. I think Wildcard Gaming isn't the only team, though, that's gotten a little bit of a bump in morale. I don't think they needed necessarily a boost in morale with how dominant they've been, but Change My Mind almost took down Method Black. What is happening, Method Black? 640 points, and slowly, week after week, Wildcard Gaming has been catching up. Now, this was something that I mentioned to Zico a little bit earlier. Only getting an additional 20 points for beating the team that's ahead of you, that is a long slog back. You're going to have another 6 weeks happen in the next season as well. So that's 120 points that you could, if this scenario keeps playing out over and over again, that's when you really need to start looking at teams like Change My Mind and say, come on, pick it up a little bit. We need you to take out Method Black if we're really going to get to a scenario where Wildcard Gaming is that #1 team. But right now, I honestly think they could light all of their points on fire. I don't even think they need their points. I think they're going to come out, and I think they're just going to win the LAN. We don't even know all the teams that they're going to be playing against yet, and I'm still confident that they are going to be able to take down this LAN. There is one spot left, and we are going to be figuring that out very shortly here.